This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Brown and Michael Yu.
Hello and welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. I am Morgan Brown.
And I am Arlene Chang.
And I'm the Podfather.
We have a special guest. Arlene Chang is in the business. Building.
I thought there would be like music right now.
There is music. You can't hear it? It's in the podcast.
Oh.
You know what's funny, guys? I feel like I'm misplaced here because like Arlene and Brayden just went out with my husband for a concert.
It was
and I am misplaced.
Well, you were invited.
I know.
Morgan?
I was with the children.
You know, and I was
Had a good time.
My husband was supposed to come too, but I said, you know what? I don't care if he's laid up in bed. I'm still gonna go.
You go, Arlene.
Yeah,
I'm still
Arlene's
gonna
like,
go.
this is party, Arlene. I'm ready to do this. Let's go to a party.
If you say you're gonna do something, you do it.
Oh,
That's right.
That's
That's right.
That's
Right?
the mentality.
Yes.
It
Perfect.
really- yeah.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Perfect segue into what we're talking about today, guys. We're talking about something special. So we have a special guest because she is a huge part of what we do here at Oakwyn, especially this big event that we put on. Brayden, we're talking about WOO today.
Woo!
That is an acronym for
Women of Oakwyn.
oh my gosh. We're pumped this year
Yes.
because first of all, this is our 6th annual WOO event. And the last, I guess year,
Last two
2
years
years.
were virtual.
we had to do them virtually.
Yeah.
So because COVID was pretty tough.
It was
Tough.
tough to get. Well, we couldn't get anybody together, so we did them virtually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different experience. Some technical difficulties.
Some technical
We apologize.
difficulties.
Why?
We
What happened with
apologize.
the technical difficulties?
It was so funny. It's fun. Just a fun day.
Well, last year it was fantastic. We had some powerhouse brokers and realtors from across Canada join us on a panel, and we had the Honorable Lieutenant General,
Governor
General,
General, which was a big thing, come and be our top speaker, which was incredible.
Wow.
But I think because it was our first year with COVID and we used our agency to kind of put it together, there was a little bit of that technical difficulties to get everyone on.
Oh, yeah.
So we
wanted
apologize.
we wanted to make the event something other than just a Zoom webinar. We
Yeah.
wanted to use a different platform, and then it was a bad idea because we should have just used like a YouTube or a normal Zoom because it ended up causing a little bit more too much. It was
Yeah.
But you
too
know
much.
what?
I get
You know
that.
what I read today?
What?
About failure.
Okay.
You learn from failure,
Yes,
and
you
you decide how you're going to deal with failure. So it was like one of those
Yes.
success things, and
Yes.
it was Obama talking about these people who had failed so much in their lives, but they took those and flipped them to be successes.
Yeah.
So it was like Michael Jordan, always like, he was always just losing, never made the college basketball team, and then took those
Yeah, I would
failures
call him
to
a
a
loser.
success, right? So those are kind of like the stories. And so what we're learning from last year, although it was fantastic to get all these
It
people,
has to be in person.
it has to be in person. It's going to be better. It's going to be better.
So we're excited to announce that we have an incredibly intimate event happening on October 20th at the Kent, which is in a really great and cool space right in Gastown.
Ooh.
Actually, great. It's actually one block from Beatty, so kind of like above Gastown. And we're pumped to say that we have an incredible guest speaker, Jill Sinclair, who has just signed up this week as signed and sealed and delivered, that will be one of our top speakers for the event, and a couple other ones that are
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
She's
and
awesome.
She's been on a couple of people's podcasts. And I think we should just first make note of what WOO is. I think there's might be some guest people listening right now and they're wondering, what the heck is WOO?
Well,
What is it?
Woo was a brainchild.
was
And
a
it started really, I think, to make sure that women felt surrounded and supported by other women. And
Yes.
that's really what it is all about. And, it's particularly for women in business, but I
Yes.
think it's really important that it's just women in general, that we're each other's cheerleaders, that we're there to support each other's successes, learn from our failures, share our failures with other people. And instead of, having any kind of weird,
Animosity.
Yeah, and like, hey, I want to be better than you.
Oh, okay.
you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Or, that we all break the glass
Ceiling
ceiling together.
together.
How cliche.
That's pretty
You know
good.
what? Okay, so first of all, I think it came from. So this is our 6th annual. So we've had so many incredible events. The first event we had was in '07 at Shambar, which if you guys have not, if you guys want to see some reference to it, I'll actually post this link on my Instagram and maybe tag Oakwyn and re-tag it so you can see it. But basically, Shambar was the first event. We really wanted to get women in the same room. That's basically
That
what
was
the
all
goal.
yeah.
It was like, okay, you know what? Women need to be elevated. Like, we are 2 owners of this company. We know that we've made incredible progress in our industry already. Majority of a lot of realtors are female and male, so it doesn't. I think there's not a concern about less women in the industry. It's more about less people that are supporting one another to get there, and that we still believe that the battle is far from now.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we do like to touch on a couple key things, which I was just looking at our last article, which is, stories of violence, stories of sexual harassment, threats that are made towards female agents are way too common. And we wanted to put light on these things, turn them into something that's not to be afraid to talk about, right? So women exist to shine light on these topics, but also to incite more change, right? And to create more of a voice in our industry, but also to create incredible opportunity for women in business that maybe can't get their foot in the door, or maybe they just need some help, or maybe they just need some guidance, or whatever it is. And we're there to support them there. But really, this Oakwyn in general, that we really pride ourselves, and we're very proud. I think this is what we're mostly, that we aim for, to create an environment full of inclusion and diversity. That's something that is huge for us. And women are a part of that. So we encourage women to succeed without fear.
And I think that is a very interesting topic.
Ooh.
Morgan.
Yeah, why don't we dig into that?
Yeah,
Let's dig into
dig into that, because I
that.
think this is a very interesting subject that I think a lot of women are actually scared or have some fear about success, or fear
Yes.
about, moving forward in some way in their life. Have you ever felt that kind of fear about moving over to the next level, or pushing yourself, or because there's always this potential that everybody has. It doesn't matter if you're
Yes.
woman, man, or whatever, but there's this kind of your own kind of glass ceiling that you might put on yourself.
Yes.
Have you ever had that or felt that in a way?
Yeah. I feel
And how
like,
did you break through for yourself?
So I think number one, women, I think there's it depends on your environment growing up. I think that it depends on how you were raised. It depends on what you're exposed to. And also it also just depends on your own self too, and how well you know it, and your confidence level and everything like that. So I think for me, I was always fearless in the sense that I was like, I can do this. If someone gives me a task or a job, I'm like, I'm going to deliver. I'm going to move. But there's always been the fear of, and I, even balance, I'm able to kind of say, I can do this. I can do it all. I just need teams around me. I actually looked at, funny story. I was on my Peloton today, and my tag word, or like my username is "you can do it all." And then I said to myself in my head when I was on, I'm like, you can do it all with teams around you.
Really? You know what mine is?
What?
Slug. Hashtag slug. Anyways, go on.
Yours is way better than mine.
No, I like yours, actually.
Yours is very like Peloton
Yeah,
culture.
Peloton culture.
Yeah, I can do it all.
Yes. Slug.
Yeah. Sometimes you got
Yeah.
to slug it.
But no, I think, I will tell you personally, like I've always felt like when I'm when I'm in a room of men, I might sound like I'm not very smart. Like I actually, yes. So like when I'm around a lot of guys, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it is. It's maybe the feeling that, and I've had to break through that mentally. Like, how you're talking about like just, breaking through it. I've had to like kind of train myself to realize, what I have to say has some weight. And what I have to, how I open up and share, like even on this podcast with Mike, right? Like it's like, and you, it's like, sometimes before I even did the podcast, I really didn't want to ask her. I was like, I don't know. I have nothing to say, like there's nothing to say. And I had to be like, no, I have a voice. I have something to say. I have something to share. I hope I can change some people's minds. I hope I can inspire. I can, inspire some people. So I think that was always my challenge, was to not feel stupid
Interesting.
around a bunch of men.
Interesting. And so what do you think you did to overcome that?
I put myself around you.
You surround yourself with other
Women.
Yeah.
Strong women.
Strong women.
And
yeah.
I think that was like a big thing. And also like even my resale team or the people, our internal team, our realtors around us, like the women that we have at our agency, I don't know.
Do you build more courage or just like you just were like, hey, that you see an example of that? Or
I think it's once you see like other women doing that, you feel like, oh yeah, I gotta own this too. Like, what I mean? This is normal. Like, and not to be so subconscious about it. I think that was the big thing. But like, I will say, like, what I mean by that is like, if I was in a room with a bunch of commercial guy agents, which is a very masculine feeling, or if you're around a bunch of managing brokers that are all male, and you are afraid to speak your opinions or give your advice about something because you're the only one there.
It's true. You get that sweaty hand feeling, like this at least this is how I would feel. I get that sweaty hand feeling, that butterfly in my stomach. Before I was like, I have something to contribute, but I'm very scared about saying it.
Yes.
And now I've kind of gotten out of that clammy hand thing, and I'm just like, okay, actually, I think this is the way that it would translate well for people, or here's my suggestion. And they're like, great suggestion.
Yes. And they want to hear from you. And I think that that's like the funny thing is, as females, we have to break that boundary of just standing up.
Yeah.
And just talking and using your voice, It's definitely something I want to hopefully inspire my daughter to be like, now that I have a daughter, I'm like, if I hope she sees that she's just as powerful and just as, she has just as much weight as the people in the room, whatever sex they are, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Kate's not going to have a problem with that.
Oh God, Kate.
My daughter, no problem. She's like, doesn't matter.
Really?
Just yesterday,
Just confidence
she's like, just confidence to the
oh my gosh,
like the 10th degree. She was yesterday. There was like a big school fundraiser, like back to school, which was crazy because they allowed parents now to kind of go on a tour of the school,
so nice.
meet the teacher.
Yes. Yeah, I just did that.
I know, and we haven't had that for 2 years, so it was so bizarre. And they did such a fantastic job at the school. They had food trucks. Like
What?
Yes.
My
the
school
school
didn't have-
is having this food truck.
The pack is amazing. Mackenzie, I got to give a shout out to Mackenzie
Whoa.
Elementary. They really turned it up. And it was like tons of parents and kids coming out. And Kate's like, Mom, I'm so popular. All my friends are here. And she's just like, and she said, she's popular. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Like, cool. Oh, by the way, she's in grade 1. So
yeah, she's in grade 1. She's in grade 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
So she's very sure of herself.
What did someone tell you about her when she was born? I forgot.
Oh, okay. So funny story. So I had a couple miscarriages, but so before I had Kate, I went to a Chinese doctor because I just had another miscarriage, and he said, okay. So I took some Chinese medicine, and voila, pregnant like 3 months later.
So fast.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. I believe in Eastern medicine. And so I was pregnant with Kate. And so in Chinese medicine, all they do is feel your pulse.
Yeah.
Like that's all that they do to assess your entire body.
Wow.
And so my mom was like, asked the Chinese doctor, like, what is she going to have? What is she going to have? And the Chinese doctor's like, boy. And I thought for certain I was going to have a boy the entire pregnancy because, well, the Chinese doctor had confirmed it, but also because I was just carrying and everything was so much the same as my firstborn, which is a son. So I thought having a boy, brought boy clothes to the hospital, like it was all good. Had the baby and they're like, it's a girl. I'm like, and I just came overwhelmed.
Crying.
I was crying. I couldn't even believe it. Not that I didn't want to, but it was just such an
moment.
awesome surprise.
Oh.
And I was just
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing.
this is so amazing. And then I asked my mom later, I'm like, Mom, the Chinese doctor was wrong. And then she's like, no, it's because Kate's spirit and heart is like a man. It's so strong that he thought it was a boy.
But you know what's so crazy
Wow.
about that? But do you know what I'm saying? They don't want to, like, I think this is the problem that we have. It's because the past of that is
Yes.
like, oh, because they have balls, they're super strong or
And then
whatever.
Yeah, and so you attribute it to the certain sex, but it's not.
It's
It's just
not.
like it's who that person is.
That's it.
It's
Wow.
who that person is.
Yes.
And then she's been like that from like, yeah. And so
Trust me,
yesterday
this
again-
girl is fembot, okay, if you know what I mean. She comes up to me, she's like, Auntie, look at my nails. I was like, oh my God, you're one. You're like so young.
Yeah.
She's
yeah.
always like, oh my God, and my son has the biggest crush on Kate. It's so funny.
Oh, really?
He's like, Kate's over there. I'm like, oh my God. Little does he know that I'm planning this all along.
We are gonna be family.
Mixed child. No, but it was like, that was such a fun moment for you. I think it was like, and having this women, like my daughter, she's extremely fierce. Like she just walks down this, like she's 18 months. Like your daughter is same thing. And it's like, we have this, unfortunately, I think when we were raised, we were really put in these boxes of, you're a woman, you do this. You know what I mean? And I think we're trying to break that. And it's really hard. And it's really important as women to show like the younger generation and the women that there's no boundaries.
These boxes and
There's no
boundaries
boxes.
are starting to be erased.
They're gone, right? So we hope to kind of create those careers for them. And I think what I'm trying to say is, you as women, it's who you put yourself around, right? Like I can see that especially with, if you're going to be in specific places and be around people that don't believe in equality for female or female empowerment, then that's how everyone's going to turn out in that group. But at Oakwyn, we believe in encouraging that kind of female-led management team, that female team. We encourage, people to succeed without fear, of course, all the time. But the biggest thing is we tell women to don't just think big, but think bigger and make it something that you can reach no matter what, because you got the right team around you.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so important, the people that you surround yourself with. You just, they're going to either elevate you or they're going to bring you down.
Yes.
And, that's why it's so important that we bring women together that want to elevate one another, that they're not going to bring the whole group down. And we have a very limited capacity this year.
Oh my
guys.
God. Okay. So the guys, I'm
sorry.
How many?
I'm sorry. We're sorry. 150. I think it's 150 or 100.
Okay.
So we chose the Kent because we just wanted to get this in, guys. Okay. We just wanted to get the Woo. We wanted the annual Woo event to come in. But next year it's going to be earlier, like
Usually
it
we
has
have it in the
been.
spring, closer to International Women's Day. But,
this year was different. So we had to find the right place. We had to find the right speakers. So limited quantity is there. So I'm telling everyone now, if you are interested in the Woo, please make sure you're on it for tickets. They sell first week of October. It's October 20th, and it's a very nice light cocktail hour, right?
It's going to be an experience, and it's going to be a chance for us to get together, celebrate one another, chat with one another, see what's going on in each other's lives, and just really be present
and bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what's cool is if you can't make it and you don't get tickets, the next event is just in spring. So don't worry, it's coming back around. This one is just going to be, a really nice, light, bright event. But I want to go through some of our last events so people know what it's all about. So the first one, we had an incredible coach come to our Shambar event. There was only like maybe 25, 30, 50 people, 50 people. How many people were in Shambar?
I think probably about 50 women.
50.
It was more of a
Intimate
brunch.
brunch.
but Chambord's known for the mussels, so
They were
definitely
yes,
go for
the
the
mussels.
mussels. So good.
Then the next year was in 2018. We had Bryce, which is an
Bryce
incredible.
Berry. She
Oh.
is somebody I actually played volleyball with as well. She was an Olympian. I am not.
Yes.
But actually, she started her own business and she makes this beautiful outdoor photography on reclaimed wood. It is fantastic.
Beautiful.
So
if you haven't
check
checked
her
it
out.
out, yeah.
But it was a beautiful panel of Bryce Berry.
At Vancouver Club,
Yeah.
we had Karen McSherry, who owns
Gourmet
Gourmet
Warehouse.
and Shannon Dwell, who owns Dwell Living.
It was such an amazing panel to have, again, just to inspire people to think about how other women are succeeding in their lanes of business. And I thought we learned so much from that panel.
That was a fantastic panel. And then 2019, we did another Vancouver Club. We did do a lot at the Vancouver Club, which is so nice. So thank you, the Vancouver Club, for that. And we also did a cute little video with Jessica and also Mary P from the downtown office. If you haven't seen that video, I'm in it as well. I just had a baby I think a month before. So I was like, okay, this is what motherhood looks like. And we did a great Vancouver panelist with Barbie Bent, who owns Legree West, and now Jaybird. SSDG, which we had
With Lynn Hughes on,
Hugh-
who is our designer. So every Oakwyn office, and we're doing 2 with them right now.
oh my gosh.
So shout out to SSDG for all their creative work.
And then we had my client and friend, Tess Sloan, who owns an incredible HR company, not HR company, recruitment company that works with Lululemon and all these
And
big
Earls, I
and
think, yeah.
Earls. But we also had something really special happen that year. We had Shelley Smee, who's our managing broker.
She was a phenomenal speech. Oh my God.
I think that was one of our most incredible. So she
Emotional.
got emotional,
Vulnerable. Taught
I'm going to say everything she says.
Shelley was just, out of every woo, I think for me, and I think for a lot of women who have attended the woo events, Shelley's speech is still something that I think about and
regularly.
And she really just inspired, I think, a lot of people to think about what they've been through, where they want to go, and how far you can go with the support of people around you. And she was just fantastic that year. I'm gonna cry now.
Yeah, she shed light on a lot about mental health. She talked a lot about sexual
Abuse,
harassment
yeah.
and abuse, and that type of stuff is it was very challenging to listen to, but it was incredible because I mean you learn something from every event. And then in 2020, we did kind of, because of what happened with Go Big and Go Home, we did a blog piece with many different agents from our office. So we had Jessica Chen, we had Elaine Andrews, Adina, and which was our black and white
Wenda.
video, and Wenda. And those were our really top producers, and they talked really lightly on what made Woo so special and how as females it feels to work amongst other women that support them. So it was really great. So if you haven't watched that video, it's on our articles. Go to that. That was our 2020 Woo event. Think big and then go bigger. And last year, again, as we mentioned, we had a nice panelist of people from all across Canada. And this was Amy Assard, Noelle, and Francis, and of course, our Governor General, which was awesome. So we're excited to get back in person, I think, right?
Yeah, we're excited to bring it back down to earth, down to one-on-one, not one-on-one.
All together.
Yeah, all
Getting
together.
in the room.
Yeah.
Having that feeling, the energy. of
My mom
everybody.
called me and was like, "Can I come to this?" I was like, "We have limited tickets." No. I was like, "No."
Morgan, can you get me in?
Yeah, she said that to me. She's like, "How about 2? Can I have 2 tickets?" I was like, "No, go away, Mom." But I mean, those
She
are.
is a woman of Oakwyn, though.
She is a woman of Oakwyn.
She birthed a woman of Oakwyn.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
important.
I'm scared to get my mom and Lee to these events.
Well, basically, they'll just take credit for everything.
Oh,
Rightfully so.
These
Yeah.
are my daughters.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
And, okay, so I think we got 8 scholarships in the bank last year, which was super rewarding. And this year we are going to be giving them out again to business inspired females that will be coming after the event. So what happens, guys, is you come to our event at Woo, And Oakwyn matches those funds and we put them towards scholarships. So we're super pumped. So the more people come, the more scholarships we give.
Wow. That sounds awesome.
It's pretty special.
You got a scholarship, right?
Yeah. So this is the whole reason why this came up was, okay, so I think when I met Mike and Arlene, I was always like super female focused, of course, like, and I was like, we got to do something for women. Like it was like nothing. Yeah. Like our brainchild. We were just like, okay, let's do it. And then I was like, oh, we'll just try it out. That was our first event. Right. And then we realized how many people loved it.
Yeah, it was
And
so
how many-
important.
oh my God, it was so important. And as time went on, we realized that the bigger it gets, the better it gets. And the more we get people involved, the better it gets. And then when I was in college, I got a scholarship to go, basically I got a scholarship and I didn't have money I went to Langara. I had no money. I was actually working to go to school. I was very driven. So I would go to school, then drive to the restaurant and I'd work all night and then go back home, sleep, do it all over again every single day. Boom, 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 boom. And Arlene was very similar.
I have the same story.
Yeah.
Worked through the summer, worked 3 jobs, go to the coffee shop in the morning, walk across the street to the athletic store, and then work at the yacht club at night.
Wow.
Like we were like,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that are like that. And that really like, we knew that our success was in our power. Like, we had to get through it. We had to, of course it was not easy. It was very tough, but it was also something that we just did and we had to do it.
Yeah. So we really want to support education in women, right?
Yes.
So same as you, I got a scholarship as well, applied for a scholarship. So if you're a woman out there and just listening and thinking about getting into business programs and
Yes.
thinking about it, there are a lot of scholarships and things out there. And we're going to have one as
We're
well.
going to have one.
And it helps to cut down the student loan. If I worked so much, but I still took out a student loan.
Yes.
$1,600 that I got as well. It's every dollar counts, and all that you need to do out there, everybody, is be able to fill out a form
Yeah. Fill out
Okay.
a form. Yeah. Fill out
So
a form.
fill out a
And
form.
watch us.
and watch us.
Yeah.
But really, that's all that it is taking the initiative. Right. We're looking for women who have that initiative
Yes.
to fill out a form properly. I was at the passport office this morning.
Oh my gosh.
And-
how was that?
It was okay.
Oh my gosh. did you go
Because
through?
I made an
Prepped.
appointment. You could make an appointment. Anyways, the whole story.
Yes.
But people cannot fill out a form.
Yes, that's a big problem.
They have a
People
vetter.
hate reading.
They have a vetter at the very beginning, right? Who makes sure you have everything, or they're
Oh,
going to turn
really?
you away.
Oh my gosh.
I got a couple highlights. I didn't fill out the form quite 100%. I was close, but I forgot BC in one spot. I was like, come on.
Come on, Arlene.
But, other people were coming in, and I heard the lady, she's like, this is wrong. You can't use whiteout. Initial. Wrong. I was like, oh man. So if you can fill out a form, you may be eligible for the Woo
Woo event.
scholarship. And again, we're looking to change people's lives in any way that we
Yes.
can. And so I think if you're a woman out there,
And you're an agent out there. Like,
yeah.
please tell me, like, if you're a realtor out there listening to us.
or if your kids are going into business school or going into
yes,
anything,
we want to support you.
Yeah, we've got a lot of agents here who have kids that
Funny
are
story. This is a funny
Okay,
story.
what's the funny
Okay, so funny story. So yes, I saw Matt Poser put out the Girl Guide cookies, and he bought 52 boxes of 12 boxes of Girl Guide cookies, and he lined them up. I think he should post this because it was on his stories. He lined them up. It was literally like all the way across all these Girl Guide cookies. And he's like, hey guys, if you want Girl Guide cookies, I've got some.
Wow.
And he just went at it, right? And so I texted him being like, how much are Girl Guide cookies? Because I will buy some from you. And he's like, oh, really? And they're like $5 a piece. And I was like, $5 a piece? That's perfect. And I was like, are they mint or are they black or
I like
white
the
or what
mint
are they
ones.
like?
The
So
mint
funny.
ones.
They're like, they're mint. And I was like, okay. And then he's like I think he was expecting me to say like 3 boxes. And I was like, I'll take a case, 12.
Ooh.
And he's like, what? Morgan. And I was like, I'm supporting a female entrepreneur. She is a young entrepreneur and I want to support her. And I was a Girl Guide and a brownie. And I was like, it wasn't easy for me. But the point is that I see that. I'm like, if you're a parent out there and your kid is about to go to university and she's a
Yes.
woman and she wants a leg up, get her to fill out the form. I don't want you to help her. Just go in and tell her to help. Don't help her. Just go in there, let her fill it out, because if she wants it, she'll do it right.
That's right.
Okay. And I think I didn't get my license. I couldn't have got my license without the support from the scholarship. Like I got my license to be an agent because of it. I got a license to go to UBC, but I was like, nah. And I ended up realizing, and it just pushed me in this direction. It all flew in really quickly for me, right? Like I think it was just given to me. But the point is you want to set yourself up. If you know anybody, please make sure that you send out that link.
Yes. Yeah, we want some really great candidates and strong women out there.
And
to
Arlene
benefit
and
from
I
this.
are going to look through each one of them.
Yeah.
That's our we're going to do that together.
Over
This
just
year,
drinks.
you and me, drinks. And I think other than that, I mean, the Kent is a beautiful setting. If you guys have not been there, it's beautiful. But we was a big fun time of female, and you're going to get some really great tidbits, some great speakers this time around. And it's all about, again, succeeding without fear in our industry, being around really like-minded women, and also just knowing that you have the capacity to do whatever you want.
That's right.
You just have to break down those boundaries
For yourself.
for yourself. Anyways, that's it, guys. That is it for the Oakwyn podcast for our special guest, Woo
Queen,
Mom,
lady.
Queen,
Woo-pisode.
Whoop-isode.
Yes.
Our Whoop-isode. I love it. If you are listening to us on your platform of choice, please rate us 5 out of 5 on the platform. And what do we do if you want to hear a little bit more about Oakwyn?
Go to oakwyn.com/join. I dropped the
Yes.
WW.
Yeah.
W.
Good.
Nice work.
Definitely the better you.
Yeah.
/.
And then what do we do when you get
And
there?
you
When
go
there?
to the message box, Evolve 2022. That's our theme of the year, evolving as we grow through this 2020 year. We're evolving as a whole bunch. And one of our leaders will reach out to you and maybe give you a piece of mystery swag. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thank you.